So I welcome you once more. Like I told you earlier, learning is number 4, functional skill level 2. So the topic is already written in the meeting invitation. Like identify the equivalence between fraction, decimal, and percentages. So you must be able to know if they ask you to express your answer in fractions, you must be able to do that. If they ask you to express the percentages, you must also know how to actually approach it. So when you say fraction, so what we're going to cover today is going to be from decimal to fractions, from fractions, decimals, from decimal to percentages, from percentages to what? To decimal. From percentages to fraction, from a fraction to percentages. So we're going to cover everything in details. So I will roll this first part off. Don't worry. Don't wait. Don't worry about copying it down for now. Because it's being recorded, so you're going to actually have access to the recording. So there's no point actually copying everything down now. So the first one is decimal to to fraction, and we also do fractions to decimal. Some of you have been with us for a long time. You will see that maybe you are seeing this thing for the second time or things like that. So that's why we normally recycle the whole thing when we are done with the what's it called, with everything. We start all the way again because we keep having new students. So this one's decimal to fractions now. So for example, now if you have if they say what is 0.7 to fractions, this is what you do. When you say 0.7, it means that this is having only one decimal. When you say one decimal means what? There's only 7 after the dot. The dot means what? The decimal point. Just going to put it there. That's me also. Decimal point. So, and you only have one number after it. So it's going to be what? Like 1 is having one decimal point. So because it's having one decimal point, that means that it's going to be divided by 10. If it's having 2 decimal points, it's going to be divided by 100. If it's having 3 decimal points, it's going to be divided by 1,000. So because this one is having only 1 decimal point, so it's going to be what? 7/10. That's the fraction. So you can also check 0.9. So if they ask you to convert 0.9 to a fraction, that gives you what? 9/10. Can you see? Because it's just only 1 decimal. But if you have something like this, 0.09, can you see? You have 2 numbers after a decimal. So this one is what? 2 decimal points. It's going to be 9/100. You can see that one is what? Is 9/100. So another one is this. If you have 0.23, if they ask you to convert 0.23 to decimal fractions, so that gives you what? 23/100, because it's 2 decimal points. If it's like 0.123, that gives you what? 123 divided by 1,000. So you can try this. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to actually stop the recording. You have to be very fast. You can try this. Convert this one to fraction. 0.3, 0.43, 0.043, 0.01. Can you convert all of them to what? To fractions, please? So thanks for that. So let's actually correct it. Go put like a different pen. So different colored pen. This one is good about 3/10. This one is good about 43/100. This one is good about 43/1000. This one is good about 1/100. That is it. So I assume that everybody actually got that part right, and that actually what makes it a lot easier for us. So it's a lot easier for us. So let's move on to the next one. So next one is what about if they give you fraction to decimals? So for example, now if they give you fractions to decimal, how will you turn that? So if you have, just go be the opposite. It's going to be the opposite for you. So if you have, they gave you maybe they gave you 2/5. So they give you 2/5. So the first thing you can actually do is that to make it a lot easier for you, you must convert to 100 or to 10 or to 1000. So it is 2/5 now. When you see something like this, okay, let me start from the easiest one so that you can be able to get yourself very well. If you have 11, you have 11/1. You have 11/100. They ask you to change those to decimals. So what you need to do is this: just do 11 because this is 2 zeros. 100 is 2 zeros. So you go to move to the left twice. 1, 2. Can you see? So it's going to be what? 0.11. So if you have 43/100 too, you want to change it to what? To decimal. To decimal, that gives you what? You move it, that is 1, 2. That gives you what? 0.43. So if you have 4/100, you want to change it to decimal, so you move it to the left twice. 1, 2. That gives you what? 0.04. So it's very important to actually to take that one into consideration. So it's just the opposite of the one we have been doing. So if you also have 1/10, what's that one as decimal? So you move it, can you see, you put decimal points here. So it's going to be what? 0.1. Just the opposite of what we did initially. So as I told you, you don't need to write it down. Just write few things down so that when I give you work to do, you'll be able to compare the example with the work, actually what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you something to do on that. Then we'll now go to slightly other ones. So convert this one. 19/100. 13/100. 6/10. 4/10. And you convert everything to decimals, please. So,
hello?
yes.
Yeah?
So, what's the answer for that?
Can I have a go?
Yeah.
It's 0.19, 0.13, 0.6, and 0.4.
So, anybody again want to tell me the answer again? So that just to know that everybody right.
I think I support.
Okay, so 0.19, 0.13, 0.6, and 0.4. So any other, is it okay?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Good. So now, so it could get slightly harder. Sometimes you might have the denominator so when you have something like this, you have 2/5. So that to change this to decimal. So you can actually know that this one is not 2 divided by 10, it's 2 divided by 5. So you can change it to something divided by 10. So you want to make the bottom one 10. So what can you multiply by 5 to get to 10? That's going to be 2. So this one 2 times 2. So that gives you 4. So it's going to be what? 4/10. Can you see? That was actually what? 4/10. So that's going to be 0.4. That's going to be 0.4. So you must be able to add your timetable, understand your timetable to it, and everything. So if you also have something like you have 1/2, you're asked to change 1/2 to decimal. So it's 1 divided by 2, it's not 1 divided by 10. So just know that you want it to be 10, So all I multiply by 2 to get to 10 is times 5. This one 2 times what? Times 5. That's good. What? 5/10. That gives you what? 0.5. So you can try and actually put that one down. So
sorry, just to ask, the last thing you just did now, that's converting fraction to percentage, is that right?
It's right.
Hello?
We are not doing percentage, you are still doing, I said that we are still doing the fractions to what? To decimal. There's no percentage here yet.
Okay, so the 5/10, is that fraction, is that percentage?
We are not in percentage yet, we are doing fractions. When we go to percentage, I will write on the screen when we're in percentages. We are still doing fractions. Fractions to decimals.
I just want to understand why you have to convert times 2 by 2 and 5 by 2 to get 4/10.
Okay, well, just listen. I'm going to do it more. So look at, like I told you earlier before writing this, guys, please pay attention very well. I told you earlier before actually writing these things that we want to go to the one that is slightly harder. The one that does not have the denominator as a 10, that has the denominator as as other numbers. That's the one we want to actually do. And I gave you the first example to say 2/5. So if you want to convert 2/5 to decimal, the one we're doing before is by divided by 10. But you must make it to be similar to the one we are doing before. That's why we have to change the bottom number. The bottom number is what they call denominator. The bottom number is what they call denominator. So we want to change this bottom 1 to 10. That's why I put 10 there. So you now want to, it's called like equivalent fractions. So what can you multiply with 5 to get to 10 is times 2. That is it. So you want to convert this one to like something over 10. So what you do to the bottom one, do it to the top one. So it's good what? 4/10. That is it. Can you see now? This fraction you see now is similar to the one we have been doing before. Changing to what? To decimal. So what is that 4 divided by 10? From change to decimal, that gives you what? 0.4. So you also have another example is also if you have something like you have maybe you have 7/20. This 7/20 is different from the over 10 we used to have. So it's gonna be much easier for you to see, okay, you can change it to either 10, 100, 1,000, any one between all those things. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to actually to divide. So when you see 7/20 like this, so which one can you change it to make it a lot easier for you? Is times what? Is to take to 100. What can you multiply by 20 to get to 100 is times 5. So this one too, you do what? Times 5 there. That gives you what? 35/100. That gives you 0.35. So we just want to make it to be similar to something like this. So that
can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Like the number that you use, you brought in now, which is the 5. So whatever you use for the bottom is what you will use for the top.
Yes.
For the top number, that's what.
Yes.
That's what I do. Okay.
Yes, it's going to be the same.
Right.
So the reason why you're just trying to, it must be the same because it's going to be fair. What you do the bottom one, you do the top one too.
Right. So you can't use different numbers.
You can't use no. It's going to be the same.
It's got to be the same number. Okay.
Same number. Can you see this 1, 2 times 2? This one times 2 too.
Yeah.
Yes. It must be the same. That's why. So in case you don't know, timetable is not really like very fast with it. You can just do 100 divided by 20 is 5. 5 times 7 is 0.35. So I'm going to give like 2 questions to actually do. Then you can try it. It's just like anyone that is more difficult than this, you won't get it in your functional skill level 2. So yeah. So let me just give you that one. If you have 4/5 to decimal. Don't use calculator, please. Then you have coming 3/20. Change those ones to actually to decimals. We'll meet the.
It'll be.
Yeah.
Can we just finish?
Oh, sorry.
Can we not just.
So like I actually said initially that this one is going to be, don't change it to like 10, This one is times 2. So the top one too, like you asked me before, it's going to be times 2. So it's going to be what? 8. 4 times 2 is 8. It's going to be 8/10. So what is 8/10? It's going to be what? 0.8. Then the other one too. The other one is also going to be, you want to make it to like 100 because like 20 to 100. So it's going to be a lot easier for you. So this one is going to be times 5 and times 5. So that gives you 15/100. So it gives you what? 0.15. So this is actually how to convert it directly. If you get this one right, then that is that. So the first one is 0.8. Second one is actually 0.15. 0.8 and 0.15. So this will be recorded when you see the record. It's going to be on YouTube or so, I think, because it's like the school's Zoom. It's going to be on YouTube or so you can just have access to it directly. Just stop it and do it over and over again, because we still have like some other areas to touch. So you can also change decimals to actually you can change decimals to percentages now. So guys, the next one is this: decimals to percentages. For those that have been here before, I told you initially that percentages are is out of 100. Percentages is out of 100. So when you say that 50%, the meaning of 50% is what? 50 out of 100. When you say 2%, the meaning of that is what? 2 out of 100. So when you say 75%, the meaning of 75% is what? 75 out of 100. So because what? Percentages is always out of 100. So it makes it so easy for us to actually what? Convert it. So let's try and convert from what? From percentages to actually what? To decimal. Percentages to decimal. So if you have, let's say 5%, like I told you previously that 5% will be equal to what? 5 over 100. 5% equals to what? 5 over 100. So in a nutshell, I want to what? To decimals. Don't forget that it's going to be this. It's going to be like 500. You divide it by 100. So that's going to be 0.05. If you have 22%, so they ask to convert what? 22% to decimal. I told you that it's always out of 100. So it's go what? 22 out of 100. That gives you what? Just okay, stops at the bottom of 2. So it's going to be 0.22. Then if you have a 71% out of 100, that gives you what? 71. That gives you what? 71 over 100. That gives you what? 0.71. So that is it. I told you initially that what? 71% is going to be 71 out of 100. So when you have like 99% too, it's going to be 99 out of 100. That gives you what? 0.99. So is that's straightforward from what percentages to actually what to decimals. Percentages to actually what to decimals. So guys, in like in 60 seconds, I'm going to give you one to try because we don't have enough time anymore. It took a while for the Zoom to start and we only have like 15 minutes left. So I'm going to give you like 60 seconds to try decimal. So this one's going to be what? 24 out of 100. That gives you what? 0.24. This one is going to be 73 out of 100. That gives you what? 0.73. This one is going to be 27 out of 100. That gives you what? 0.27. This one is going to be 7 out of 100. That gives you what? 0.07. So that is just straightforward. I believe that everybody actually has got that one right. So it's very straightforward. Just what you need to do basically is that percentage is out of 100. So from there you can actually what convert it. It's out of 100. Then you can actually what you can convert it directly. So it's much more straightforward if you actually want to apply that. So now let's move on to decimal to what? To percentages, which is actually what? Just the opposite directly of it. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. Just the opposite of it. So when you say that decimal to actually what percentage, so you know this one to be what? Say 0.41. Can you see? So 0.41 is going to be what? 41%. Just like multiply by 100. So like this gives you what? 41. So if you have like 0.41 52, they want to convert this decimal to what? To percentages. So it's going to be like, times 100. So that gives you what? 52%. This one, I don't need to forget that. So when you multiply by 100, it's like you're moving to the right. Just count the loops to the right twice. 1, 2. So it's going to be 52. So if you say that, what is a 0.04 as what? As percentage. So you multiply by what? By 100 too. You count the loops. 1, 2. So it's going to be 0.4. That's going to be what? 4%. So if you have 0.99, you multiply that times what? Times 100. So times 100, you see it's 99. You capture that, that's going to be what? 99%. So it's just the opposite of the one we actually did initially. So just this one is the easiest out of all of them. Decimal to percentages. Just multiply by 100, then you can actually achieve that. Multiply by 100, then you can actually achieve that. So I was thinking I can actually give you some other ones to actually try to before we do the final one. I don't want to spend a minute more than 4:30, so even at 14:30, 14:20, 30, yeah. So look at this one now. So I'm just gonna give you 30 seconds more to actually do this. When you're trying to listen to it, when the recording is made available to you, you can pause it and try and see. So this is this will be times 100. That gives you what? 1, 2. That gives you 2%. So that gives you what? 27%. That gives you 91%. This one gives you 34%. So just have to convert from what? From this to actually what? To percentages. So it gives you that. Now the final one is fraction. So percentages. So if you're asked to convert fraction to percentages, just similar to what we did before. So if you ask like 7/100, because percentage is out of 100, that gives you what? 7%. So if you have to convert 21 over 100, this is a fraction now. So it's going to give you what? 21%. That's what? Percentage. So the same, that's just the similar. So we've covered the bits of faith initially. So this one is should be like a formality for you, because you actually are aware of this before. So if you also have like a 71%, 71 over 100, that gives you what? 71%. So if you just convert from percent to fractions to just 70% equals to what? 71 over 100. So I'm going to give you a question to do now. That's going to be the final set of questions for today, but it's going to cover everything that we've actually learned today. You can try in 1 minute, just try that. So let me just help you with this. So you have to change this one to percentage. So this one's go what? 50%. Multiplied by 100. So that one's go be like 50%. Then what about this one to, well, it's 2 decimal, it's could be like 75 over 100. Then this one is a percentage to decimal. You just do what? It's going to be what? 40 out of 100. So it's going to be 0.4. 0.40. I can put on. That's it. So you're gonna have the recording available. I'm gonna communicate with the office. I think the recording is going to be available on YouTube also, but they'll give you the link to access the recording, to be able to actually get the recording. But I think you should be okay with getting it as soon as we actually finish. Don't let it set you. Just make sure you actually you try your best and revise it. So that is that for today. So the link will always be available a day before the class by the secretary in the office. Then it's not going to be the usual regular link again. So thanks for actually joining the meeting. So any question?
Yes, I have a question.
All right.
I just want to ask, what's the YouTube the YouTube name, please?
UK Versity Online, but I think they don't give you the link in the group. Don't send the link in the group. I think I'm going to ask Jim.
Versity Online, okay.
Yeah, UK Versity Online. Yes, UK Versity. So if you put UK Versity there, it's going to take you directly. So yes.
Okay.
So all right. Thanks for actually listening. All right. Thank you.